Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. It is Friday. It is Friday. We made it. Another Friday. God, this is drink it up, except for you emergency people, and your week is just really getting going. So know that we love you and we appreciate what you do so that the rest of us can have a weekend. You emergency people make the world go round, and I just want to send you some love because that's what's in my heart right now. Guys, I am so glad to be back chatting with you. I am loving that you guys ask questions and that I get to jump on and answer, and people seem to really like it. Like, I get emails from you guys and direct messages saying that this has been helpful, and man, that fills my cup. And so I just thank you for everybody who said that the videos like this are helpful. And if you have questions for me, please put them in the comments or over on Instagram. Just send me a direct message. And I am happy. I'm just gonna keep doing these. I really love it. Hey, May's off on Friday. Good stuff, May. Soak it up. Enjoy the goodness. All right, I got a good question for you guys, and we're gonna talk about money. I got a question from the mailbag, and it says, what does the future of vet med look like with the stagnation of support staff wages? And how can non-practice owners like associates and relief vets and the like advocate for a living wage for support staff? All right, cool. So what does the future of vet med look like? I'm gonna start with that. Let's talk about money first, and then we're gonna talk about what people can do to support staff wages. All right, so here's the thing. I have some good friends, and they are really into positivity and practice culture, and I love that stuff. And you guys know I love that stuff, and it's super important. Like, we all want to work in a good, positive place. So I was talking with these guys, and we were looking at some of the polls and the data that come out about what is the thing that most makes technicians feel appreciated. And at the top of the list in the polls and things we were looking at was salary. Money was the number one thing. And my friends were going, really? Money? Like, money doesn't buy happiness. You know, money is the number one thing. And I get where they're coming from, right? I am a super positive culture guy. And I think this stuff is radically important. There is research that says that money doesn't buy happiness after a certain point. And I think that that's really, really important. You know, we want our staff to be happy, and it's great to do stuff for staff morale, and I'm a big believer in all of that stuff. But guys, it's really hard to feel happy when you're worried that your basic needs are not going to be met, when you're worried about making your rent payments, when you're worried about, being able to go grocery shopping for the kids or pay for childcare. Like, it is really hard to feel fulfilled and appreciative if you're at a place where you're really affected by money. Like, there's truth to the idea that money is like oxygen, right? It's all around. And the only time you really think about it is when you don't have enough, and then you feel it. And I feel like that's the truth with a lot of our staff, right? And so there is real truth to the idea that support staff wages are a key piece in us keeping our staff and not having them leave the industry and not having them burn out and leave. And like, I'm all about team culture. Like, you guys know I eat, breathe, and sleep that stuff. None of it, it's not gonna get it done if we don't support these people in a way that they can support themselves. Like, that's just the reality of it. So the first thing I wanna say is wages are really important. And this is not something that we as a profession should blow off. Like, we are in a massive hiring crunch right now. We can't hire people. You know why you can't hire people? A lot of them left the profession, right? And that's a big part of it. And we're not recruiting them in the numbers that we like. You know why? Because they look at the salary they can expect and go, man, I'm gonna go to tech school and make that. Like, I don't think so. I think that's a very reasonable thought process to have, and it's on us to fix that so that it's a place that they want to come. So I believe that. All right, let's talk about the future. And I will just say now, I'm optimistic. Like, you guys know I am an optimistic guy. Let's talk about wages in general. The truth is that this is not uniquely a vet medicine problem, right? Real take-home income, it hasn't gone up much for anyone in America in decades. Like, there has been very little wage increase in our country in a long time, and that's across industries. So stagnation of wages is not specifically a vet med problem, it's a whole country problem. And that does make me a little bit more optimistic, and so hear me out here. I think that there is a push across our country to, we're looking at the wage gap, at income inequality, and I think that there's going to be a push, knock on wood, to raise the income of a lot of our workers and to try to get this stagnation to break down and start to let workers see more real income. And so I think that vet techs will benefit from that just in the larger sense, and that's just outside of our industry. But just think about it, right? If minimum wage goes to $15 an hour, let's say, that's going to lift a lot of people up. There's a lot of techs and a lot of assistants and a lot of front desk staff that don't make $15 an hour. So even if minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour, it's going to help them. Think about, there'll be states where minimum wage is not going to go up to $15. It's not. I still think that having a national conversation about things like $15 an hour minimum wage, I still think that helps provide upward pressure. And so you may be in a state that's not going to go there, but it might go to $10 an hour, and that's going to push wages up. Everything sort of seems relative to the minimum wage, I think. Imagine that you're in a place where your technician makes $15 an hour right now, or your assistant or your front desk person makes $15 an hour, and minimum wage is $9. Well, if that 9 goes to 15, then it's going to lift everything up, and now the techs are making minimum wage. And the truth is, I don't think that they're going to feel okay being a minimum wage worker, and I don't think that I'm going to feel okay paying my credentialed technicians minimum wage. Like, it doesn't seem right. And so my point in all of this is to say, I see larger societal upward pressure on wages, especially wages for skilled staff, like what we're talking about. So that's the larger societal lens on this, and that makes me optimistic for everybody. Now let's talk about vet medicine in general. I don't believe necessarily that vet medicine as a whole is going to move forward in one direction. I think a lot of people go, what are we going to do? And it's like all of vet medicine is going to figure out a thing and do it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think in the coming years, you're going to continue to see diversity in vet medicine where there's different kinds of practices and they kind of move off in their own ways. And so you're going to see things like, you're going to see stuff like, you're going to see a rise in house call medicine. I think house call. There's pet hospice house call, but I think you're going to see more just concierge service of where people go like, I have a vet, and they come to my house, and I think that vet will have a technician, and I think that will be a good job, and I think that those are jobs that did not exist before. I think you're going to see telemedicine, especially teletriage. Man, that's a great place for credentialed technicians to be. There's virtual CSRs, or a business that has opened up during the pandemic, and it's awesome. The ability to flip a switch and have competent, trained CSRs that can jump in and answer phones for your practice and make appointments for you and things like that. That stuff didn't exist before. And those are going to be good jobs. I think that those are going to provide options to support staff who, like, they haven't had a lot of options, right? Man, I see more and more technicians doing relief technician work. And again, talk about a job that didn't exist. Those can be good jobs. I am completely optimistic about and comfortable with the idea of credentialed technicians that are damn good. And they are essentially relief work. And they set their own schedules and they run their own business. And it's like, hey, this is summertime and you're going to be shorthanded and you want a really skilled, positive, good person to roll in and help lock down your treatment room. This is who it is. And I mean, like, that stuff is real. And as credentialing has evolved, I think that stuff gets way more easy to visualize. And I think it's easy to sell for practices. I think industry jobs are going to keep trying to grab vet technicians and train people. They want people with experience in the practice. But the vet industry, as pet ownership grows, the pet food market, the industry market, there's just more. There's more interest in pet products, and I think all of those are looking for competent people who know the vet side of the industry. I think those are good jobs. So industry jobs, relief, house call, concierge medicine, virtual CSRs, communication work. I think all of those things are going to keep happening. There are going to be opportunities that support staff have not had before that they're going to continue to have. Let's talk about traditional practice. Okay, so I think all those things are real, and those are going to give real jobs. I do think also, as far as support staff goes, I think that the corporate consolidation that we're seeing in vet medicine, I think it's probably going to be good for staff. I do. And let me say, like, in all of this, the world is messy. And I'm not saying that everything is in any of these things. People go, oh, telemedicine. Look, there's going to be good things about telemedicine, and there's going to be bad things about telemedicine. And there's going to be things that are good for people that are bad for other people. And like, that's just the way the world goes. And so I think looking holistically and be like, this is 100% good, or this is 100% bad, that's ridiculous. I think one of the benefits of corporations is that traditionally, when we look at corporations in vet medicine, they have pushed wages higher for support staff. They have really pushed benefits higher for support staff. I mean, the corporations have come in with better benefit packages than most independent practices had or used to have, and they continue to push wages higher. And so I think that the corporatization of vet medicine is probably going to lead to more benefits for support staff and higher wages, because those guys are not messing around. They want to run good businesses. They want to attract talent. And I think the independent practices are going to have to raise their game and try to figure out how to pay for this, because we don't want to lose, say as an independent vet, we don't want to lose our best people to the corporate groups. And I can't blame my techs for going to a place where they get health care. Like, I can't blame them for that. And so I've got to compete. And so I feel good, guys. I feel like there is good upward pressure. I don't think it's going to be a panacea. I don't think all of a sudden everything is going to be great. But I do think, I am very optimistic about where we're going. And I think that wages and compensation and benefits are going to continue to improve. I think the last drivers I'll say is, there's a shortage of labor in this country, especially skilled labor. And there's a shortage of vets, and the vets are covered up, and they can't do all the work, which makes the technicians and support staff even more valuable. And if you want to have a profitable business, you got to leverage your people. You know what I mean? You can't be short on vets and then not let techs help carry the load and not compensate techs for stepping up and doing it. Like, that doesn't work. And so I really do think that we're going that way. The last part of the question was, what can associate vets do to support this, or what can non-owners do to support this? The answer for that is simple, right? You got to leverage your people. You've got to use them. You got to trust them. You got to let them work at the top of their skill level. I don't think there's a scenario where an associate vet can go to the owner and be like, "Hey, this person who does nothing but restrain animals for me to do an exam on should earn a lot more money." And I think that's going to be a really hard sell. I think instead what you do is you leverage the person, you let them do technical work that they were trained to do, and then you point out what all they do, and you try to put them in positions where they can use their skills and make you faster and make your practice run better and offer more and better services to the pet owners. But advocate for that. And I think that's the path to support staff getting paid more, is support staff getting to do more. There's still too many of us, guys, that don't trust our staff and don't let our staff do the work that they're trained to do. And that holds them down, right? Their value to the practice is limited because they're not doing the stuff. And that's kind of on us, especially as we're overwhelmed. Like, we've got so many cases. We really do need to be lifting these support staff and these technicians especially up. And if we lift them up and we let them work, then we can get them paid. But I don't think it goes the other way. I don't think we're going to convince employers to pay more and then let them do more. I think we're going to have to empower them so that they can their wages can follow their responsibilities and their skills in the practice. So guys, that's it. That's what I got. I have wandered on along with enough with this. I hope it was helpful. I hope it lifts people up. I hope you guys see the love and the optimism. I really do think that things are going to keep getting better. I think that tech and support staff are going to have a lot more options in what they do in their careers. I think in the short term, I think you guys may have to make some moves around and look around. But guys, there's a massive demand for you and your skills. Just know that. Know what you're worth, and and advocate to get to use your skills, because your value and the perception of your value will follow that. All right, gang, take it easy. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, anything like that. I love talking with you, and I appreciate your time. Have a great Friday. See you later, gang.